This is Kal Kat, the Kal Kat's turn. This is a review of Lower Decks Episode 8 of Season 5, Upper Decks. We have 3 more to go. Visor Quest and the new Deck Generation. But in this one we have, we have all kinds of nods and things to various mixtures of fan films. Of course, the breakout character of Stevens is funny there. He's the one that resembles Kal Kat. It's not officially supposed to be him, but it's unofficially him. It's a Clint Cowpoke sounding guy. Of course it's Clint Cowpoke. Why wouldn't it be? But it's not actually the actor doing it on the show. It's someone else doing a good imitation of it. So that's awesome. There's also some other Sillians in this episode. And there are Letamok in this episode. From Cohnirri space. Yes. For Letamok. Those bug guys. They're in the story. But yes, that's cool. They're Dotal Letamok. They're the offshoot. And yeah, you'll be seeing them in the Cohnirri space movie right after Lower Decks is over. The Cohnirri space movie will be out for Christmas. The first of the pilot episode movie thing, Cohnirri space. Anyway, so here we have this, which is going to be over by the 19th, and then that. So here with Lower Decks, and we have the sort of a gag on showing the Upper Deck people. So it's a spoof of the original Lower Deck story to pay homage to. It was pointed out recently that that the reason that Locarno became Paris was because they didn't want to pay royalties to the people that wrote the original Nick Locarno character. But in this case, it's the Lower Decks where so that's why I made him a twin. Exactly. But in this case, they don't introduce him at all. He's not in it. But in this case, it's more like they're just going to show the Upper Decker people. They have a cave lady. They have an Aussie lady. The cave lady's funny. With a tuba, a double B flat sousaphone, and we have battling the angry aliens. We have Shax battling his inner demons in space, having a jihad, because actually that word doesn't mean outer struggle with other people. It means inner struggle with your own stuff. Or if you go look at that Quairan, that's inner struggle. But in the West, we think, oh, jihad means it's a holy war against everyone else. No, it's inner struggle. Got that right. Then there's it doesn't mean outer struggle. That's another word that sounds similar, I guess. But yes, that would be holy war. That would be different. Yeah, holy war and jihad's not the same thing. They even messed that up in Dune. And this one they got it right. He fights the aliens. The aliens are invading. The engineering is burning down. There's cow creatures, because of course there's cow creatures in it. Why wouldn't there be? There's all kinds of goofy stuff, silly Trek class stuff in there. Yeah, the cat lady wants extreme pain because she's a Kzinti of is she the Kzinti or the other grade? She's a Katan, but she acts like a Kzinti. No, she was one of the Larry Niven Man Cleanse Wars characters, similar to M. Ress from the classic Trek, but also similar to the Kzinti bad guy. So yes, we know our history from the stories. So we have of that. We have Ransom trying to impress lower deckers from the Beta shift and the Alpha shift that are different from our main characters. Our main characters are in it, have a cameo thinking that nothing happened while they were in their story. We have Stevens having more than 4 lines. He got shot with a phaser 2 seasons ago. But here he is. He has more than 1 line. And they made him sound like Clint Cowpoke, which is hilarious. So clearly Mike McMahon is aware of our channel. Absolutely. Definitely. The characters, definitely. The Aussie lady could be critical vitriol, but they gender swapped her to a girl. Totally would make sense. They yeah, half the characters are then too. And of course, we have to have the Henry and Chris meeting at the end, and on the holodeck, which could be just on the holodeck, or it could be that he appeared there, either or, maybe he's a hologram, to visit the captain and his wife as a gag, and because in this universe they have race swapped the character of the Klennas and the Barristers for and names for characters related to Mr. McMahon's relatives. The Mariner character is based on his sister, apparently. But I based the characters of Chris Klenna and Libby Klenna and them on someone else in Barrister, and I think not someone else. This episode, introduces us to characters that are right out of Cohnirri space that show up on the ship and don't like compliments. That's the same guys. Okay, yeah, they're aware of us. They're absolutely aware of us. They saw that Draconian episode 2 years ago, and they're like, we're going to do that. That's funny. That's great. Let's do that. They distant cousins. Sorry, they did that. This is their version of it. It's hilarious that that makes them canon in the 2380s. That they're actually they were around the 100 years ago, and also consistent with the ship they encounter in the story as well. But yeah, it's eerie that they're aware of us, because as far as I know, nobody got paid. But yes, so yeah, we have just a few episodes left of Lower Decks, and this one was about an invasion by the bug people, the clickers, I think they're calling them in this version, and the invasion makes the crew angry. Well, some of the other crew are taking the cow creatures off the bay, and I don't know why the doctor's into pain, but oh well. That does all the cat stuff, because if they've consulted the Kal Katster about how a cat would behave. Cats generally don't like pain, though. That's kind of strange, but yeah, but she's like an S&M cat or something. What? That doesn't make any sense. But I guess cat suit kind of joke there. I guess that's what that is. But sure. Well, she's a sadomasochist. She likes giving it out and taking it. She likes, and to be the ship's doctor, that's kind of messed up. It's not any different than McCoy, though. I mean, he didn't have much of a bedside manner either. Jim. And he never once said directly, he's dead, Jim. It was always, he's dead, or Jimmy's dead, or something. Never said he's dead, Jim. Sort of like how they never actually said during the show, beam me up, Scotty, either. Scotty, beam me up, or variations of that. But it became colloquial, beam me up, Scotty. He never actually said that. Until the Abrams movies, in which they referenced those two lines directly, and then made it canon in the Kelvin verse. And there's that Kelvin verse crossover with the Yo Toy, the Generations one. There were other things. So yeah, Lower Decks. They probably didn't expect this to be the last season, but then they went with it. They up to 50 episodes when they get to the end. To be continued in the other series. Yeah. So in the fan film series. No. I'm not talking about mine. Oddly enough, I'm talking about the there's 2 spin-offs in the works, Starbase 80 and something to do with that Pleasure Planet. Yeah. So we'll see what they do with that. 2 of their spin-offs, not mine. Mine is coming, but 2 of their spin-offs. So we have, well, just on the home stretch, they have the characters acting goofy. It's probably the most silly Trek episode. They do make fun of the how some of the crew listen to concerts and plays and stuff, and there's a play guy who looks like Henry. That's pretty funny. And then there's the doctor guy who looks kind of like Scott. Isn't it? Scott Boyd? Of course there is. Yes. The engineer is really channeling Tim Cantrell from the Stargazer. And Shax is also. Yeah, I didn't think to mention that earlier on. Shax, the giant security guard guy, is Tim. He's Tim. He's Big Tim. He's just huge, big. He would totally have played a Bajoran, but he didn't. He played an engineer guy in a Marine Starcrackers, Space Vanguards, and Starcrackers. Now it's called Space Vanguard, Starcrackers, and he played all the big guys on it. And yeah, he's not playing Shax here. Someone else is imitating him, but they're doing a good job. Although that be said, Tim really doesn't get angry, so the character gets angry. The character acts like Jim Buffkin, but he behaves like Tim. And I'm sure that McMahon is not aware of the Starcrackers backstory, but originally there are some characters in Starcrackers, which is a fan film on YouTube and stuff, and it's Star Trek like. It became Space Vanguards. That Jim Buffkin, who was a hyperactive character, wanted to play only the one characters that weren't directly talking to the villain, even though we wanted him to play two characters. Thompson, who was kind of like Shax in personality, the aggressive security officer, and I ended up having to play him, and and the gunner, and someone else that was talking to the back. He didn't want to play Henderson, the other bad guy. Henderson acts a lot like Ransom, the guy. Thinks he's really powerful and muscly and stuff. Yeah, he was a spoof of Jamie Messi, who wasn't muscly and powerful. That was the joke. Yeah, he was the farthest from muscly and powerful back then. I don't know if he's muscly and powerful now, but probably not. But yeah. Yeah, I know there's no real true connection between the Kal Kat show and McMahon's show here, but it's weirdly eerie that it's on the same exact wavelength, like we could have been writing for this show all along under a pseudonym, and you wouldn't have known it. Yeah, so that's fun. And characters are basically a mishmash of Space Vanguards and Cohnirri space characters who have been put on a starship in Sillian space, and 20 years ago in timeline wise, it's 2380s, and yeah, and that actually lines up with the 2480s stories that are Cohnirri space 100 years later when they encounter this other ship. So yeah, it's like, oh, it all lines up. Letamok had to appear somewhere, so they do appear in this story. So okay, yeah. They even reference the handshake thing and the alien thing in this episode. That is eerie. That they had to have seen the script, because I don't think the handshake thing is a joke in Distant Destinies. It might be, maybe where they got it 2 years ago, but I don't know. It's weird. During the writer strike, we wrote Distant Destiny during the writer strike. Non-WGA. We weren't Writers Guild. We wrote the episode during the writer strike. That was last year. Yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence, but it's a weird one. It's a really, really weird one. It's as if you threw them in this story. Actually, they could also say that the Letamok were. No, they're not. I was just going to say, oh, they're like the Termarellians. No, they're not. The Termarellians are lizards. They encounter lizard people, then they're lizards. These are the bug ones. These are the Letamok. The Letamok and maybe the Darkrai, which is hilarious. Or the Totemus, the more praying. They look more like the Totemus. Yeah. We haven't been introduced to them yet. Yeah. But no, they were acting like Letamok because that's all he knew about. He knew about the Draconians and the Letamok and that thing. He knew about that, so he put that in there. And about the Orions devolving into the other guys. And there being that weird connection with the other guys. I'm sure it's a coincidence, though. Anyway, so a weird rant of Lower Decks where I didn't really talk about the episode. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.